Hey all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, it is one of my favorite / least favorite videos of the entire freaking year. I am going to be ranking every single eyeshadow palette I tried in 2024 from the worst to the best. You will see my #1 palette. I have a feeling it's going to surprise you this year. If you've been watching my channel at all, I want you to stop for a sec and leave in the comments what you think my #1 palette is going to be, because I'm not sure if you're going to guess it. In all, I tried 38 palettes this year, which I am so thankful to do. So many of these I did receive in PR. Everything is going to be linked down below if it is still available to grab, and I will let you know which I received in PR and which I purchased myself. Some of these, spoiler alert, have already been decluttered in my eyeshadow palette declutter, so those are going to be further towards the bottom, obviously. And the reason I say that this is my favorite / least favorite, it's my favorite because I love makeup and I love a good ranking and I love eyeshadow palettes. It is my least favorite because it is so difficult to rank these palettes. I am at the point in my makeup journey where I don't like using palettes that I don't think I will enjoy. So usually if I'm even going to put something on my face, I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy it. So looking at this collection, I really love like most of these. It's just that some always have to go to the top and some have to go further down, whether that's because of quality or color story or things like that. They just got to be ranked. One quick caveat that is new to my rankings this year, I have decided I am not going to be including any of the palettes that I received or tried in the month of December. I am filming this earlier in the month of December, and I want to make sure that if I'm going to rank a palette, I have had a chance to really play with it and decide if I like it. Now, there is a chance that I could try a palette once and be like, that's shit. And there is a chance I could try a palette once and be like, that's amazing, but I just always want to give them a fair shot. So anything I tried in December, like for example, the Gourmand Girls Frozen Kiss, you will see that in next year's ranking. I already have it on a list. And you know what? Let's jump right into this. We have 38 palettes to rank, so let's start with number 38. All right, at number 38, we have the Lottie London The Jewels palette. So they actually sent me 2 of these, the same exact palette. I did wind up giving the brand new one away, and I tried this one, I think twice. I did not like this palette at all. I do not think the quality is there. I think that the mattes were powdery and patchy. I think that the shimmers were like barely there. There was nothing about this palette I liked. I'll be honest, this is one of the only palettes I can actively say I really, really disliked. This was an immediate declutter for me. So this did go. But the thing is, it's just so powdery. And I'll be honest, I have gotten Lottie London stuff in PR this year, and there's not a single thing that I've tried from Lottie London that I've been like, oh my God, this is amazing. I just haven't been impressed by them as a brand. So if you have something you love by Lottie London, please let me know in the comments down below. But as of right now, I have not been impressed. So honestly, the Jewels is sitting at 38, and this is going right back in my declutter bin. Thankfully, my declutter bin is like literally right here behind me, so I can just be like, fuck this thing. At number 37, I don't even have it in my hands because it is already gone, and that is the Glamlite Kiss palette. I will admit, since I purchased this myself, this is something I have already sold. I just did not like it. I thought I did. It was one of those things where, like, when I tried it at first, I was like, okay, you need to spend a little time with this palette. It takes a little work to build it up. But honestly, I found myself not reaching for it and just not interested in it. And when I did use it a few times, I found it had a lot of fallout. The colors were not as opaque as I needed them to be. The quality just wasn't there for me. And I'll be honest, you guys, at this point, I have decluttered most of my Glamlite palettes. And I know that they're a favorite of so many people. I truly get that, but they're just personally not a favorite of mine. I have not had great luck with the quality of Glamlite palettes. I feel like they're churning them out so fast that the quality has gone down a bit, because the 2 that I do still have are my Scooby-Doo palettes. Absolutely love them. I am not decluttering those. But like the Kiss palette, it just didn't do what I wanted it to. And I'm so disappointed because I really loved the idea of that collection. But as it stands, I have decluttered every single piece, and I bought that whole collection and it's all gone. So the Kiss Glamlite palette was number 37. At number 36, this is where it started getting a little trickier for me. This wasn't the most difficult part of the ranking, but it started getting trickier. This is something that I decluttered, and it is by far not something that I hate, okay? The other 2 palettes I just really disliked. Everything from here on up I liked, maybe not enough to keep it, but At number 36, we're at 36, right? Yeah, we have the Nomad Air Canadian Rockies palette. I love the quality of this. The quality is really, really good. It is Nomad quality, which I really like. But this color story, just personally, as somebody who loves green eyeshadow, this did not appeal to me. I tried playing with it a few times. The quality, again, very good. But I found myself just consistently not picking this one up, which is why I'm ranking it a bit lower. And it's beautiful. It really is. And I'm so excited to pass this on to one of my friends. I'm actually having a get together next weekend where all of my friends are going to be able to go through all of my makeup declutters, and I hope they take it all. But yeah, this is just one that I'm going to be decluttering. It's so beautiful. It's just that I have other greens in my collection that I reach for more consistently, excuse me. So Nomad Air Canadian Rockies is number 36. At number 35, this one is difficult for me to be ranking this low, but again, every place, like there has to be a ranking for every single palette, and that is the By Us Garden Busters palette. So they sent this to me and I'm very thankful. By Us is the sister brand of Odin's Eye Cosmetics. So I will say the quality of this is Odin's Eye quality, which as you probably know is amazing, amazing quality, okay? Everything is there. There are a lot of reasons, though, that this palette just didn't speak to me as much as my other Odin's Eye palettes have. First of all, the packaging. It is so incredibly bulky, and I know that might seem like a stupid reason to put something low in the rankings, but guess what? When you have 38 palettes to rank, you gotta be choosy. And I also talked about this in my eyeshadow palette declutter. I hate the shapes of the shadows. I feel like this is so much wasted space. And somebody straight up in my comments to that one is like, you're wrong. She said you're wrong about the shapes of shadows. Apparently they really love this. That's cool. You guys can totally disagree with me, and I want you to in the comments. Respectfully disagree with me. But this one, while the quality was amazing, the color story at the end of the day is just too pale and pastel to attract me. It's very nice. Again, like the quality was really good. I had no issues with that, but the color story just doesn't appeal to me. I feel like it's a little bit all over the place, and the consistency that it does have is pastel, which I want dark shades, like really dark, to balance out pastel. And considering that this like mid-tone purple is the deepest shade in the whole palette, just didn't do it for me. This is one that I decluttered. I'm sure that I'm gonna have a friend that's super excited to use this. And to be honest, I'm very excited to see what By Us does in the future, because again, love the quality. It's just the color story really wasn't for me. So the By Us Garden Busters is 35. At number 34. So this one was kind of hard for me to rank a little bit lower, and you're going to consistently see a few brands throughout this where there's a lot of palettes. There are certain brands that I tried a lot from this year, so they're going to be all over the place through this ranking. One of them is Nomad Cosmetics, and down at, what number is this again? Forgive me, it's 34. The Nomad Keys Beachy and Peachy palette. This one is down lower, and I did declutter this for the same reason, a similar reason as the Garden Busters palette. This is just a little too pastel for me. And yes, there are some like bright neons in here. We've got a red, like a true like coral red down here. We've got a bright purple and a bright blue. But overall, this color story, while it's absolutely beautiful, there's so many like pastel-y colors that it just isn't for me. Now, I do feel like this has the same quality as other Nomad palettes. Nomad is one of my favorite eyeshadow brands ever, but just this color story just didn't appeal to me. And I'm surprised by the color stories this year that did appeal to me, but over and over again, consistently pastel palettes or like just very bright palettes just didn't do it as much for me. So yeah, the Nomad Keys Beachy and Peachy is number 34. Okay, at number 33, this is where it genuinely started getting difficult for me because everything else that's here, I kept in my collection. None of these have been decluttered. So this is where I was agonizing for the past few weeks. But at number 33, we have the Surratt Beyond Beige palette. So this is as neutral as you can get. This is a quad of 4 very neutral colors. We have 2 mattes and we have 2 shimmers. Very basic. This is meant to be for, I guess, beginners or people who just don't wear makeup as often and just want to throw on a quick look. The reason it's down lower is because the color story, I have this. I have this, you guys. I really do. We all have this color story if you're watching this likely. But the reason why I didn't declutter it, the quality is really, really good. And you can make a consistent look with just these 4 shadows. You can make several looks with just these 4 shadows. And I've used this, like, I don't know if you can tell, I've used the hell out of this year. And that is despite having 9,000 neutral palettes or neutral colors in my collection. I've used this quite a lot. And I was really impressed with the quality. I will say the price is a bit high for what it is. And again, the color story, those are the things that are kind of bringing it down, if you will. This is, again, number 33, the Syrah Beyond Beige. I still really enjoy this. I'm really glad to have it. At number 32, we have another one of the Nomad Air palettes, and this one is Oslo. This is so beautiful. This is like cool toned, icy vibes, okay? We do have 2 shimmers and 4 mattes. I really liked this one. I will say that when I was doing my declutter, this is one that I sort of questioned of, do I want to get rid of it or not? And at the end, I was like, you know what? No, because I really, really enjoyed this. Like, the quality is beautiful. The shimmers are super, super like icy shimmery. Like, let me see if I can show you. It's just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like just icy. It's so, so, so pretty. And I really enjoy this shade right here, which you can see has a hint of green to it, but not really. It's just really beautiful. I love the looks that I've made with this. And also, like, I know that I think I'm in the minority here. I like these little palettes from Nomad. I don't usually like 6-pan or 4-pan palettes, but this one, these have been really good, and they're consistent color stories, which I appreciate. So yeah, Nomad Air Oslo is sitting at 32. At number 31, we have our first Fantasy Cosmetica palette, and that is the Fantasy Cosmetica Sorcerer palette. This is gorgeous. Oh my God. I don't know if you can tell also, I've used this one quite a lot, especially this shade Polymorph. Like, you can see there's a dip in that already. Here's the reason why I ranked this one a little bit lower. The shades in here that I love, I love. Like, oh my God, these down here, basically these 5 down here. The reason that I did rank it a little bit lower, though, is because if you've watched my channel at all, you know I don't wear pink shadows much. I don't enjoy them on myself, and this one has a good amount of pink shades in here, and I feel badly that I know I'm not going to use those shades. Like, maybe if I need a hot bubblegum pink someday, I'll reach into this. The quality, I'm sure, is fantastic. I did do swatches, and it's really beautiful, but the thing is, I do not like pink on myself. I don't know what it is. I just have never really liked pink shadow on myself. So I know that there are shades in here that are going to go unused, which I feel badly about. So yeah, that is why this one is rated at number 31, but the quality is still perfect. At number 30, this was my first time this year trying this brand, and it is the What's Up Beauty Dragon's Eye palette, or just Dragon Eye, excuse me, palette. Oh gosh, this surprised me, you guys. This really surprised me because the packaging of this does not really feel luxurious. I'll be honest, it does not feel luxurious. And when you open it, it kind of just looks like dusty. Like, it doesn't look like great quality, but the quality is there. These shimmers are shimmering. They are so beautiful and sparkly and shifty. I was very, very impressed with the quality, and just like, I like how the mattes balance it out. I like how you have some deeper mattes, you have midtones, you have lights. I enjoyed playing with this. The reason it's sitting a little bit lower is because the color story is very mid-toned for the most part. Like, you do have these 2 sort of deeper colors, but even those are not deep colors, and the light colors are not there either. So it really is a mid-tone palette, and I really personally like variety in my palettes. In like single shadows, do whatever you want, but in palettes, I like there to be a range of light to mid-tone to deep, and this is just solely mid-tone. So very beautiful. Quality is fantastic. But yeah, I mean, that's the only reason it's rated at number 30, but I'm very curious to see more of what's up and what they do in the future. At number 29, we have the Fantasy Cosmetica Cradled in Ice palette. This is so pretty. It is so pretty and icy and wintry and just like a fantasy, right? It is a fantasy palette, and it is so pretty. I've used this a good amount. This color is by far my favorite. Look how dented that shade is, because I've dipped into that a lot. And also Frost. So this is Frost, this is Crystal. These 2 shades especially, the shimmers in this palette are where it really, really shines for me. Like, let me see if I can show you Crystal. Oh my God, even just touching it, it feels emollient, and it goes, let me see, oh my God, it's like purple to blue, like this beautifully violent shift. It is just so, so, so pretty. I really enjoyed playing with this. I really did. The reason, I always explain, but the reason it's sitting a little bit lower is, again, you've got a lot of these like pastel-y colors. Not a lot, I'm sorry, but you have several pastel-y / mid-tone colors. And I do want some of those, but I just want more of a bit of a balance. Like this is the lightest color and it's a light pink, which I just explained. I'm not really into pink shadows on myself, but the shimmers in this palette are what like is kicking it up for me. It is so pretty. The shimmers are gorgeous. I really enjoyed playing with this and I can't wait to play with this some more. I really love it. But I will say, like, I feel like Fantasy Cosmetica with every single palette they put out, the quality is getting better and better and better. You're going to see a lot more Fantasy Cosmetica in this ranking. But yeah, the Cradled in Ice palette is number 29. At 28, is this our first one of this brand? Yep, at 28, we have our first Unearthly Cosmetics palette, and that is the Dreamer palette. Wow, we're gonna see a theme here for a minute, I guess. We're gonna see a theme here. Can you guess why this one is ranked at number 28? It's because of the pinks. And again, nothing to do with the quality. This is Unearthly quality, which is like chef's kiss beautifulness. Mattes perform beautifully, blend with each other, lovely. The shimmers are all super shifty and beautiful, but we do have a pretty significant amount of pink in here. And again, like I just never want to feel like I'm wasting a palette, but the other colors are so good that I can't resist. I can't resist and I couldn't give this one up. It is so gorgeous. If you like pinks and purples, snag this palette immediately. The quality is like, again, perfect, literally perfect. But again, if there are shadows that are going to go unused, except this one, this is pink with a heavy, heavy gold sparkle, that I can rock. But just like straight pink, not so much. So anyway, that is why Unearthly Dreamer is ranked at 28. At 27, choo choo, we have the Nomad Polar Express. Oh God, I really like this palette. I really, really like this palette. I love these neutrals with these sparkles and the icy blues. This is what I'm talking about though. This is what I'm talking about. So you do have some deep shades down here, right? You've got this deep blue and a deep brown. You do have some, like you have a matte white, you have a sparkly white, and then you've got a good range of midtones. This is what I'm talking about when I say that I want balance, right? This is a balanced palette and it's so beautiful. I really, really, really enjoy this and I've had fun playing with this. This is ranked just a little bit lower because I haven't had as much time to play with this, first of all. And second of all, while it's beautiful, much of this palette is very neutral. So usually if I'm going for neutral, I want all neutral or I want an all blue look, and I can mix these and I have in the past and it's really beautiful. But I think it's just like, it's not the color story I immediately gravitate towards, but I still really love it and I'm very happy to have it in my collection. This one is so much fun. I want to play with this one more too. I want to play with all of these. Like, I just want to play with makeup 24/7. Can someone make that happen? I don't play the lottery, but can I just somehow win the lottery even though I don't play? So I can just sit and play with makeup all day? I feel like that's a viable career choice. So yes, the Polar Express at number 27. At 26, we have another Fantasy Cosmetica palette, and this is the Bard palette. Oh, I love this one. I love this one so much. I love this dirty green. You know I love a dirty green that's beautiful, but I actually love the color story here. It's so unique, but it works, right? You've got these bright golds and yellows and oranges. So you've got these like fiery tones, and then you've got these cool tones that balance it out somehow. It's just really, really beautiful. Now, I wish that there was like one shade lighter in here. I don't know which one, maybe like a pale orange that's not quite pastel, just like a yellow orange, but this is really, really pretty. The shimmers are really shifty and beautiful and metallic and wet looking and just like yummy. I really, really like this one. This is number 26. Oh my God, wait, this shade, I'm trying not to swatch everything, but this shade, oh my gosh, look at that, look at it, look. Oh my God, that's the shade Lore. I love it so much. I'm not putting it on the back of my hand, but can we just, let's just have time where we just sit and stare at makeup. At number 25, we have the Nomad Fuji 5 Lakes palette. This palette surprised the hell out of me because when I opened it up, I immediately saw a pale yellow and a pale blue and I went, I don't know if this one's for me. I really, really enjoyed this way more than I thought I was going to. It is, first of all, it is exactly the front of the palette, right? We do have these autumn tones, but we balance it out with the blues and the yellows. I think it is so stunning, and it really surprised me. I feel like this was a very unique color story. A lot of people looked at this and they said, oh, that's a rainbow palette. I kind of disagree. I can see why they'd say that, okay? We do have primary colors. We have red, yellow, blue. We've got the primaries in here, but it's done so uniquely that I think this is a really cool and interesting palette to have. Like this shade, which is Burnished Beach. Look how great that shade is. And you don't see that often, that kind of like bright orange mustard. And then honestly, this shade wound up being one of my favorites. It's Mount Fuji, because you can see that it just is like the lightest shade of blue possible. So you could use that as a highlighter. It's just gorgeous, grounded by these reds and these somehow like deeper colors, but these shimmers are good. I just really enjoyed playing with this way more than I thought I would. And also the palette itself, the front of the palette is probably, is it my favorite that Nomad has ever, yeah, I think the front of this is my favorite Nomad has ever done. It feels like an oil painting. It is so cool. So yes, this is number 25. At number 24, we have the Melt Cosmetics Petite Warm Stack. These were really cool, and I appreciated that Melt Cosmetics did this year. Again, this I feel like is one that slipped under the radar for a lot of people because these are quite neutral. They did come out with two, and the Warm Stack is really cool. So these are cardboard packaging, and you can tell it's like basically the size of a lipstick, like a big fat lipstick, but you have 5 different shades in here and you can create a number of looks. So in the Warm Stack, we do have a neutral, we are like a neutral light color. We do have a sparkly gold. We have a matte kind of mid-toned, almost orange brown. We have a sparkly bronze brown, and then we have a deep matte brown. I have used these so much. Like so much. I really enjoy these. This one just only ranked a little bit lower because I have a lot of warm tone palettes. So usually if I'm going to do a warm tone look, I'm going for something a little bit bigger than this, but these have been fantastic for travel. Just really enjoyed these. So yeah, number 24. At number 24, oh my gosh, this palette is so much fun. I love talking about these because all of these from here on out, I absolutely love. So again, this is where it was difficult. But at number 24, we have the Sigma Little Mermaid palette. I feel like they've represented Little Mermaid so well here. Whether it's the greens from like the fins or the purple from Ursula or the blue waters, just the golds of just, it's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. And again, I just feel like they did a great job representing it because I feel like so many times when brands have like movie or TV show or food palettes or whatever it is, there's something in it where you go, how come they didn't have this color in there? Or how come they didn't have this color in there? I feel like they did this so well, and they probably made Little Mermaid real proud, and the quality is so good. These shifty shades are beautiful and really like wet looking metallics, and the mattes are really beautifully pigmented. I just had a lot of fun playing with this, and I've picked this up more than I thought I would because I'll be honest, like I tried it and I was like, this is fun, but will I pick this up? Yes, I will. I did a lot this year. So yeah, the Little Mermaid palette is number 23. At 22, we have another Unearthly palette. I'm almost scared to open this one because I'm going to start really questioning myself. But at number 22, we have the High Temp palette. Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay, here's the thing. There are 3 pinks in here. There are 3 pinks in here, but I feel like they are close enough to purple or orange or red that they don't scream as much pink, if that makes sense. This to me is a sunset palette. This is fire. This is summer. This is so sexy. I don't know why sexy is the word that immediately comes to mind, but it is. But again, we do have light tones and we have mid tones and we have deep tones. We've got beautiful shimmers in here that I really enjoyed, plus some like unique ones, like this one called Muggy is like purpley brown almost, and there's bronze in there. It's just so good. This palette I did not hear much hype over, and I really like enjoyed this one. It's very hard for me to rate it 22. I want to bump it up so bad, but no, we're going to keep it. This is the number 22. At 21 is another palette that is not new this year, but it's new to me this year, and that is the Fantasy Cosmetica Rogue. Look at it. Look. Are you looking at it? Are you looking at this? These shimmers. Oh my God, I love this color story so much. Purples and blues done right with this like punch of green, and I appreciate a black in here. We've got a light, a deep, and mid-tones and shimmers. So good. This is one of my favorite. Is this my favorite 9-pan Fantasy Cosmetica palette? It's up there. I think there's another one that might rank a little bit higher. I love this one though so much. The shimmers are so damn good in here. This is just like, I don't know, it's everything that I kind of want in a blue purple palette, and I feel like the art really represented it. This is, look at it. Look, I love it. So yes, the Fantasy Cosmetica Rogue is 21. Very dramatic. We are in the top 20. So at number 20, okay, let me just take this gently off the pile. We have the Nomad Chicago Speakeasy. I should have ranked this lower because it has crushed velvet, but the color story made me rank it higher because look at it. This is so smoky and sexy, right? Like when I say smoky, I'm picturing a bunch of dudes smoking cigars in a wooden bar. It has to be all wood, okay? All wood, no marble, no golden anything. It's just wood, dirty wood, chipped wood maybe, with smoke in the air and maybe some absinthe. That's what I picture. I really enjoyed this palette. Like this was one, again, I'm going to say this probably too often, but I opened it and I went, that's really cool. I don't know if it's for me. And I loved playing with it. Again, the quality is amazing, but this color story is really unique to my collection, which is something I look for when I have 100 plus palettes. I want something unique, and this brings the uniqueness to my collection. I love, again, how smoky the vibes are, but these shimmers really pack a punch at the same time. Just really, really enjoy this overall. So yeah, the Nomad Chicago Speakeasy is number 20. I'm going to close it gently and put it over here without touching. At number 19, we have the final Nomad Air palette, and that is Abu Dhabi. Again, for the same reason that, you know, I really like the Melt Stack. This is a warm dream, but I feel like this leans into like the bronzes. Like I wear this so much, or I wore this so much over the summer. This was a big summer palette for me. I really love just throwing on a bronze smoky eye and going out the door. It looks really good. I have blue eyes. I have red hair, obviously, and it just looks so good, and the quality is so good. These, again, so many people slept on these, and when they were looking at the three, the Canadian Rockies, Oslo, and Abu Dhabi, a lot of people ranked this one last because, yes, has this kind of thing been done before? I guess so, but I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, the Nomad Air Abu Dhabi is number 19 in my collection. At number 18, we have the Melt Cosmetics Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein palette. I really enjoyed this. First of all, the packaging, A+. A++. It is so good. But I just really enjoyed playing with this. Obviously, it is so gorgeous. You've got pretty much, if I go like this, guys, you have a neutral palette, right? Oh, let me cover up. Whoop, there we go. We have a neutral palette. This is very neutral, but with some very obnoxiously bright pops of color. I think the reason that I rated this one a bit lower than some others is because I feel like the color story wasn't as cohesive as maybe I wish it was. Like if you're going to call it Frankenstein, like I wish it was the color really of Frankenstein's face and skin, which I guess this is kind of close to, but like I'm kind of curious where this one came from, because as much as I love it, as much as I used it today, I don't feel like it fits completely with the palette. So that was the only reason I rated it a little bit lower, but the quality is really, really good. And I love this shade here, which is called Dysfuncto Cerebri, okay? Or is it Cerebri? Cerebri, right? Cerebral brain. This looks in the pan to just be a regular taupe. It is very cool toned and lovely. I've been really enjoying that color. And also I really enjoy, what's this color called? Stay Creepy. It's called Stay Creepy. It's a gold green, which is my dream shade. So yeah, I really enjoyed this palette, but the fact that it's not as like cohesive of a color story is why it's number 18. Oh, at number 17, God, this is so beautiful. The Fantasy Cosmetica Enchanted Autumn palette. This is the one that they did in collaboration with Makeup Just for Fun, Amanda. Amanda is somebody who I do consider to be a friend. She is such a sweetheart. She is such a good person. She deserves all the good things in the world. I love her. I really enjoyed how earthy this palette was. It is really, really earthy and just like cottagecore, right? I think it's so beautiful. The midtones are like slightly smoky, slightly dusty, but we do have some deeper shades. We have this kind of baby puke brown, which is another one of my favorite colors in the whole wide world. But mixed with these shimmers, like I think it's a unique color story too, right? It is earthy and grounded, but it is so unique and pretty. Just, I enjoyed playing with this a lot. And I just, even as I'm looking at it, I can see so many color stories in my head. Like, can you imagine if you mixed like this mossy green with all these purples and even, guess what? Even this like mauvey pink, I said pink, that would look so cool together with maybe a pop of like, ooh, with like Luna on top, this like bronzy gold. Just, it's such a cool color story, right? This one took thought, you can tell, and just really like ruminated in there. It's just beautiful. So yes, this palette is number 17. At number 16, good God, how did I rank these? Because I love all of these so freaking much. At number 16, we have the Melt Smoke Sessions 2 palette. Oh God, I love this palette, okay? So yes, this is a fairly monochromatic palette. This is a purple palette. There is no getting past that. But I love the various shades of purple in here. I love how they took it from like deep matte to a violent blue purple. And yes, I mean violent and not violet. It is a violent blue purple to like this purple that has mix of gold in it, and it's so lovely, to like these mauvey I just think they did such a good job. If you're going to do monochromatic, this is how you do it. And the quality is really beautiful. I really enjoyed playing with the shimmers. The colors I've used the most, actually Black Roses I use the most, as well as, what is it, Purple Skunk. I use Purple Skunk quite a lot. I feel like that's a great mid-tone shade to have. It's like a brown purple, if that makes sense. And yeah, definitely Monster Cookie is the shimmer I've used the most because it has that gold in it. Oh gosh, I really love this. I really like this one. This is number 16. At number 15, what's so interesting is that in my eyeshadow palette declutter, I was so close to decluttering this. And then at the last minute, I was like, I just can't do it. Good God, I am so glad I didn't, because like when I opened all these to like actually do my ranking, I saw this one and I was like, how in the world did I almost declutter that? Because it's so beautiful. Oh my God, even as I'm looking at it now, the Unearthly Spring Magic palette. Look at this. This is spring in a palette, but it's so incredibly gorgeous. The shimmers are where this palette shines. Like, pun fully intended, I guess. The shimmers are so beautiful and so lovely. A lot of these are rooted with like a gold shimmer. Like, for example, this is a light pink with a gold shimmer. This is a green with a gold shimmer. It's just perfect. It's really, really, really beautiful. And I cannot believe I would have kicked myself so hard had I decluttered this. I just love it. I love these bright, bright colors. Like, I feel like this is, if you were to take a pastel palette and bump it up one notch, you would get this, and that I love, okay? There's nothing in here that I consider to be a pastel. I guess, no, I consider that to be like a teal blue. I don't consider that to be pastel. And it's just, it's so good. Oh my gosh, look at it. Look, tell me this is not like the perfect springtime dream right here. Right? Oh my God. Okay. How could I have even thought of decluttering this? This is number 15. At number 14, and I just kind of want to stroke the outside of this, we have the Nomad New Zealand Stargazing. This, I said it in my video, and I will say it again, this is a nebula in a palette. This is the nebula palette of my freaking dreams. Is there pink in here? Yep, that is pink. You can't get much more pink than that. Have I used that shade a surprising amount? Yes, because it mixes so good with the purples. And I love, again, how you've got some very light tones in here, but you've got mid-tones and you've got very deep tones. But also the shimmers, like, guys, this one, you see how purple that is? Look at how green it is now. It is so beautiful and shifty and multi-chrome and delicious. This palette, this one too, this has so many different colors. You see how that's blue? Look how purple it is. I Love it. Even this shade here, right? Okay, this is Jewel Box, right? So that's kind of like yellowy gold, bronze, and oh, can I capture the green to it? Oh, I'm trying to capture that green, but it does shift so hard green, except when I'm trying. Oh, there's like some of the pink to it even. This was amazing. I am so amazed with what they were able to do with this. Not only do I love the color story, but I was so, again, amazed and surprised with how shifty those multi-chromes are. This is gorgeous. Please don't sleep on this one. Nomad New Zealand Stargazing is number 14. At number 13, we have the second melt stack, and that is the Petite Neutral stack. I was shocked because I'm usually a warm-toned lover, but this one blew me away, and I wound up loving this one so much more. I have taken this on almost every trip I've gone on. Again, look how small these are, and you have an entire look in this whole collection. So this one, we have a very, very light matte neutral, followed by a sort of mid-toned matte neutral brown, followed by a stunning gold shimmer that catches the light. Look at that. It's so beautiful and underrated, followed by a kind of deeper matte brown, followed by a very deep matte brown. I have used the hell out of this, and that's why I ranked it higher. I was not expecting to use this as much as I have. Like, again, this has come on almost every vacation I've taken since I got it, and I have used the heck out of it. Really, really enjoy this. And I know it might not seem like much, but still really love it. So at number 13, we have the Melt Petite Neutral Stack. At number 12, we have another Fantasy Cosmetica palette, and I think this is my favorite 9-pan of this whole ranking, okay? This is the Druid. This, oh my God, it is so grungy and dirty. It is so dirty, and you will know, if you don't know me yet, when I say dirty, that is the highest compliment I can give a palette. It is dirty and disgusting, and I love it. I love the grounded earthiness of it. I love colors like this dirty green, but these shimmers are so beautiful and complement everything so nicely, but the mattes ground this so deeply. I think a lot of people would say, and you know what, maybe even I would, that I could use like one light shade in here because these are mid-tone, and actually even the mid-tones are quite deep. But I still love this. This is my favorite 9-pan that Fantasy Cosmetica offers by far. And this did not come out this year, but it was my first time trying it this year. I'm obsessed with it. Like, I cannot stop staring at it. I'm going to wear this tomorrow. I love this palette so much. So yes, the Fantasy Cosmetica Druid is number 12, and I'm wearing it tomorrow. At number 11, we have the palette that I used for most of my look today. Do you have any idea what it is? Go ahead and comment down below if you think you know. I'll wait. At number 11, we have the Melt Cosmetics Creature from the Black Lagoon Quad. I think that this is sold out, but one thing that I will say is that Melt Cosmetics has a tendency, not always, but a lot of times, if something is sold out, it might peek back in at some point. They might be like, dudes, we found some extras, and they'll put it up again. But because this is licensed, I'm not sure if that'll happen. I love this color story. This is so swampy. This is so swampy. Again, it's dirty. It's dirty, okay? And I used it for this entire look. I did use a pinch of the Bride of Frankenstein, the bright yellow, just for the inner corner on this. But otherwise, I used this and some glitter, and that was it. I love how cohesive this color story is. And the thing is, as a quad, I'm not usually somebody who loves a quad. I absolutely adore this. I think they knocked it out of the park with this one. This is my favorite palette of that collection. I can't stop staring at it. I love this one so much. Now, how many of you are surprised this was not in like my top 5? That's because the other ones just were like a little bit better. Because next, guys, we're going into the top 10. And this is pretty much the area where, as I was trying to rank, I was almost actively gagging because I didn't want to rank them. At number 10, I think this might surprise a lot of you that this got so high up in my ranking, but I mean, guys, the Sigma Cool Neutrals. I think I'm starting to love cool tones a lot more than I used to. I used to see palettes full of like taupes and things like that and just run. I would just run. Like, I would slam the door in their face and I'd say, how dare you? And I'd run. It was not that dramatic. I'm just starting to really like cool tones a lot more than I used to. And this palette might be the thing that did it for me, okay? So the reason that I initially tried this palette is when I went to the Creators and Friends trip in New Orleans, they had kind of a launch party for us that included this palette. We were the first ones to get to try it. And you guys, it's so good. It is so beautiful. I think this is the best quality palette I've ever tried from Sigma. I think that this has all their heart and love in it. We have light tones to blend out with. We've got very deeps, and these shimmers, are you kidding me? They are so beautiful. And I love that you've got some like bright golds even. Like, so some of these are warm toned over here, but this is a cool tone palette overall. And it just has my heart. It really has my heart. This is probably my favorite 100% cool tone palette that I have. Cool tone neutral palette. It's just, it's perfect. It's literally perfect. And it's number 10 ranked out of 38. It is number 10. At number 9, this one might seem kind of like a cop-out, but I don't know how else to rank this, so I do hope that you'll forgive me in the way that I'm ranking this. But this year was my first time being able to try Clionadh, and I was so looking forward to it, and when I tried it, I've been so blown away. But these, the way that the palettes come, they come in individual colors, but we were lucky enough to receive some at Creators and Friends, and I now have quite a collection, and I'm gonna just rank it all together as number 9. So this is my current collection. Now, the round shades in here are not Clionadh. Those are Fantasy Cosmetica. But like, if you've tried Clionadh, you know they're so sparkly and multi-chrome and shifty and lovely and just so much fun to play with. Like, these are so special. These are some of the most special eyeshadows in my entire collection. They are so unique. They are so worth the price. They are just worth the time that you have to wait to receive them. They're just worth it. I have no other way to describe it. And I know that this is not considered a palette, okay? It's just, you know, a bunch of colors all together. But the reason that this isn't ranked even higher is because obviously, like, there's no mattes in here. There's kind of no rhyme or reason to the colors that I have. But the shades are so beautiful that I couldn't resist including this as a palette rather than like a single shadows or something. But just, they're so special. And if you've gotten to try Clionadh, you understand what I mean. So yeah, this is number 9. Do you see how like sentimental I'm getting when I talk about these? They're perfect. At number 8, we have another palette that I can barely touch. Why do you keep doing this to me, Nomad? We have the Nomad Ireland Wild Atlantic Way, and again with the crushed velvet. But seriously, guys, I love green eyeshadow so much. It is definitely my favorite shade of eyeshadow, and this has every green in it, and it's so beautiful. But you also have the earthy tones to ground it. So I feel like I have never been to Ireland. I've never been there, okay? It is literally like near the top of my bucket list. But this screams what I believe Ireland to look like. I believe it's very green wherever you go. And despite the fact that I'm sure it's raining a lot, you're still going to have those bright, vibrant greens. And it's just, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. And again, we have light colors, we have deep colors, we have midtones, we have shimmers, we have mattes. It is so balanced. This is one of my favorite palettes Nomad has ever done. If not, is it my favorite? I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's way up there. I really, really love it. I really love it. And you've got cool tones and warm tones. I just feel like they really did a great job with this palette. So yeah, Nomad Ireland Wild Atlantic Way, despite being covered in crushed velvet, is number 8. Oh my God, at number 7, guys, okay, I can actually see that this is the point. Like I keep saying, this is the point where it was hard to rank. This is the point where I rearranged my top 7 so many times. So many times I rearranged this. And even as I'm looking now, I want to change it, and I'm not going to. But number 7, we have the Unearthly Cosmetics Just to Taste palette. I love this with my whole soul. This came out not even that long ago, and I have played with this so many times already because I cannot put it down. I cannot put it down. It is stunning. It is so good. Like, this is such a sexy palette. And yes, I know it is stupid to think that like blood-sucking vampires are sexy, but have you guys seen Gary Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula? Have you seen him? But really, I just loved this palette. I love these deep tones. I love how grounded it is by these like shimmers and just these earthy tones and just This is so good. I feel like a lot of people would have done a vampiric palette very differently. There'd be like a lot of black in there and white. And I feel like they went such a different route. Like this cover, that's what they went for. And I'm so here for it. Like I really love this. Unearthly, Just a Taste, number 7. At number 6, we have the highest ranked Fantasy Cosmetica palette. And my favorite Fantasy Cosmetica palette of all time. I keep talking about this. This is the Harvest of Souls palette. This, oh my God. The jewel tones in this are what made this one shine for me. The jewel tones are so beautiful. I believe I kept calling this one like Earth Witch because again, you have some earthy tones. You've got a disgusting, dirty green, so beautiful. But then you've got these blues and these purples and the shimmery sparkles. I love this palette so much. This is, to me, the best quality Fantasy Cosmetica has ever done, the best color story Fantasy Cosmetica has ever done. It is the best Fantasy Cosmetica has ever done. This is so gorgeous. I believe this one sold out like 3 times over, and that's insanity to me. It just keeps selling out, but I do believe they have a sign-up list that you should get back on because I think they're restocking fall of 2025. Either way, look at it. This is absolutely my favorite palette they've ever done. So yeah, that's number 6. Oh my God, we're going to the top 5. Okay, we're in the top 5, so you can rest assured these were my top 5 palettes of the entire year. These were my favorite palettes I got to try this year. At number 5, we have the Cleona Paleo palette. Guys, the quality of this is what shot it so far up. I almost have never tried something as good as this quality. It is so beautiful. Every matte, every shimmer is just perfect quality of what I look for, okay? This, to me, is better quality than like the $130 Natasha Denona palettes that I have. Everything was so creamy and beautiful. The shimmers were so lovely. Like, okay, I won't swatch too many. I've got to do this one. This one is Archaea, okay? Now, you can see here, it looks kind of purple, and there it's vibrantly green, but it's also gold. Look at that. See how it's like pink, but hold on. We're gonna, oh my God. Look at it. It's like a pinky purple, but then it can go to like green. Look how flashy that is. And just, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I keep wiping everything on this table in front of me, but I love these neutral, warm, earthy tones. Love that dirty color, you know it. But the blues and shimmery greens and shimmery goodness, it's so lovely. And I will admit, this palette is a quite expensive palette, and I 150% believe the quality is worth it. I really do. I don't know if I've ever used, like, even my top 4, which I all love, obviously for some reason a little bit better than this one. The quality of this one, this is the best quality palette I tried all year. So beautiful. Number 5, we have Cleona Paleo. What's funny is that 2 of the palettes in my top 5 are ones that were like very recent, but I have not been able to put them down, which is why I'm ranking them here. So at number 4, the Wicked Widow Tales of Terror, a Haunting palette. This is the Halloween palette of my dreams, okay? And I only just got it like 2-3 weeks ago, and I have not been able to put this one down, okay? I've used this so many times. When I've gone to the office, I've gone quite neutral with like this color and like a sparkle and maybe a little bit of dark brown. When I've been playing, I've loved going in for these vibrant oranges. I used that last night. I went out to the club, I did vibrant oranges, but these golds and the purples, all of it, I will use every single color in this palette, and that is something that is so rare for me to say about a palette. I will use every single color. I could see, like, honestly, I would be thrilled if this is the only palette. Like, no, don't take away my palettes. I was gonna say if this was the only palette in my collection, I'd be thrilled. That's a lie. I wouldn't be thrilled because I love my collection. What I'm trying to say is I could play with this palette endlessly. I love it so deeply, and it is the color story of my dreams, like the Halloween color story of my dreams. I feel like it's spooky, but it's grounded still, and I feel like anybody could use this. And look at this shimmer. Do you see that? It is just so beautiful and metallic. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yes, Wicked Widow, Tales of Terror, a Haunting, number 4. Guys, the top three. Have you guessed what they are yet? Have you guessed? At number 3, we have the Bailey Sarian and Melt Cosmetics Fatally Yours 2 palette. Guys, Again, I keep saying this, I was not expecting to love this one as much as I did, okay? I figured I would enjoy it. I have used this so often, and it's what's so funny. Wait, let me take out this little insert that I will not get rid of because, I mean, it's barely looking all hot. Can you see which color I've used more than anything else? And if you've guessed buff, you are correct, okay? I can't stop using that color. It is the perfect cool-toned, neutral anything. Like taupe and smoke is the other color I've used obsessively, okay? It is a great blue gray, but also the shimmer fiery and the matte crimson I have used obsessively. I also used this when I went out last night. I can't believe how often I keep picking this up, okay? And that to me is the mark of a palette I love, is if I can't stop picking it up, and maybe in my head, I have color stories dancing in my head, like going, oh, I could do this look, or oh, I could do that. I really like this. Even Kitty, which is so hard to tell. It is like the lightest gray that you could possibly have before you go over to white, okay? It is perfect. Like, I really, really enjoy this. I feel like this is incredibly sexy. Incredibly sexy. Like the packaging, oh my God. Again, I said this in my video, but this looks like Bram Stoker's Dracula. It looks like his outfit, and it's gorgeous. But anyway, this palette, I can't stop playing with it. I don't want to stop playing with it. I'm going to put Bailey back in her little case over here. But yeah, this palette is so good, and it's number 3 out of my whole entire collection of palettes I've tried this year. We are in the top 2. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, at number 2, Unearthly Cosmetics Gargoyle. You guys, I can't believe how cool toned my top palette, like the last palette was, and this palette, like that they shot that far up to the top. It's so good. It is smoky. It is medieval. It is dreamy. I really, really, really loved playing with this so much. I have played with this so many times since I've gotten it. I love the range in here because, again, what I look for is light tone, mid-tone, deep colors. Like, I want the range, but the sparkles are so pretty. There are so many color stories within this, right? So you do have these greens, you have blues, you have purples, you have browns, you have neutrals. It has everything. It has everything. This is my favorite Unearthly palette of all time. Ooh, I don't know, because I really do love Sorcerer's Smoke and Don't Be Jelly, but I really love this. I don't know. I love how cool tone and beautiful this is. So yeah, Unearthly Gargoyle is number 2. You ready for number 1? You ready for my number 1 palette of the year? You guys, my number 1 palette for all of 2024 surprised the hell out of me. When I got it, I remember looking at it and going, that is so one note. And the number of times that I have used this throughout the year, probably more than any palette I've used, that is the Wicked Widow Crow palette. Guys, I love this so much it hurts. So this is red and gray. That's what the base is. But you do have these browns and this like fiery, like sparkly red orange shimmer to balance it out. But the shimmers are just like intense as hell. Okay, we do have a gunmetal and we have a true silver, but we also have a dirtier silver down here, like almost like money. This is a blackened silver with lots of rainbow sparkles in it. I can't put this palette down. The quality is amazing, amazing. So I tried one palette from Wicked Widow last year and I thought it was okay. And to be honest, I wound up even decluttering it this year because I haven't reached for it as much. And then this year they surprised me with having 2 amazing palettes, which both wound up in my top 5. That's how good this brand is, okay? But this palette in particular is not just my favorite palette by them, it is my favorite palette of the whole year. I'm just blown away by the quality. The quality is so beautiful. The mattes are very pigmented and opaque and stunning, and they blend well with each other, and the shimmers are just unreasonably beautiful. I'm gonna go into Vengeance because that is absolutely my favorite one. Do you see, first of all, look at that. That literally looks like metal on my hand. I'm going to try to wipe away this green swatch, but this, because it has so many different color sparkles in it, there are times where it catches the light and it looks like purely green or blue, and it just flashes so many different colors. It is one of the most stunning colors, single colors in my whole collection. I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough. So yeah, guys, my number 1 palette of the whole year, the Wicked Widow Crow palette. I just got up to get a makeup wipe, and I've been sitting in this seat for so long filming this video that like my bones hurt when I got up. This is 44, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it. Those are all of the palettes I tried in 2024. Tell me, did any of these surprise you? Okay, I want to know if you were surprised, but more importantly, I want you to take a second and comment down below. Tell me what your top palette of the entire year was. It doesn't have to be ones that I talked about here. Actually, I would almost prefer if it wasn't, because I want to learn about new palettes. I want to learn about new makeup that I haven't tried yet. So tell me what your favorite palette of the year was. Alternately, feel free to gossip and tell me what your worst palette of the year was, what you thought was the worst of the entire year. I want to know that. But anyway, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for making this my best year on YouTube. It's because of you guys, and I do work hard to do what I do, but if you weren't watching, it wouldn't matter. And I'm so appreciative of all of you. You all mean so much to me, and I can't express that enough. There are not even enough words to do it. So I'm just going to keep saying thank you until I'm freaking blue in the face. But that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. You know it. You know it. It takes you 2 seconds. Just go and then click that little thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you as part of the fam. You all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are all Glitter Fallout. And as always and forever, you are super freaking rock stars. I love you guys so much, genuinely, with my whole heart. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.